Hi, my name's Mark Greenwood and I am the National Evangelist for Ealing Pentecostal Churches, heading up the evangelism for the movement under that role. And we've been looking about how you can tell the story of your story, so we're not just preaching at people. How can we just polish that research that you've been doing that I mentioned in the previous session? Let me encourage you to look for and pray for, if you can't see them, an obvious theme throughout your story. I'll give you a quick example in a few moments' time. But look at that after conversion bit. What is the stuff that you can definitely see that God has improved significantly in your life? Trace that back through your story, so you give examples of what you were like before, what you're like since. Let's say, for example, anger. This would be my illustration, not that it's my story, you understand, but let's say anger was a real issue. You talk about how God has sorted your anger out. You talk about what your anger was like before, and in the during bit you might want to talk about the fact that you realize that actually if anybody had the right to be angry, it would be God, because we turned away from him, but actually he was loving and kind and gracious and poured all his anger out upon Jesus. So that's the theme. What's the hook? The hook is to gather as many people to the anger theme as possible. So you might say a couple of simple things like, have you ever been angry? What's the worst thing that you've ever done when you were angry? Kind of keep it a bit light-hearted, maybe some funny stories about it, maybe even some quotations that you've heard about it, and then you bring it down and you say, well, I guess all of us can be angry, but just imagine your whole life was one of anger. Well, that was my life. Then you're in.